What the fuck's going on this team, Jerry?
Bury him! Bury him!
Jerry, TJ Watt.
He is the best defensive player on the planet.
Go! Yes! Yes! We're going to fire! Steelers fans! Bang! Run it down their throat!
No! That's not a penalty!
Game over! Game over! Don't ask me to do nothing! This is nothing!
He's aggressive.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Steel Here podcast, where I'm your host, Kevin Adams, alongside my partner in crime, Jersey Jerry. Jerry Don, we need to stop getting excited about the Pittsburgh Steelers until they actually beat real football teams and can actually prove that they are different than the teams of every other fucking season that has let us down for the last who knows how many years now under Mike Tomlin's rule of this franchise. Because last night in Cincinnati is just another one of those ugly, awful reminders that this team is no different. No matter how much we think that they're fucking different, that defense will let you down every chance that they get.
Yeah, man. I said a lot in my post-game recap. I really thought they were different. I really did. It wasn't just like, oh, let me put this out there, hope I'm right, and get all the credit. It was, I really believe they were different, just for the fact that they added so much veteran leadership, some new faces. I thought, just adding Rodgers alone would be somewhat different. And you know what? It is different on the offensive side of the ball. I will say that.
Without a doubt.
Let's remind everybody this is the highest paid defense in the league for multiple years now. This isn't just some defense that was randomly put together. A lot of players on this defense have played with each other before. They're the highest paid in the NFL.
Yep.
And they look horrible. 1 week they look good, the next week they look like shit, then they look like shit again, and then they're good again, and then they're okay. There's no consistency. Mike Tomlin's scheme or Terrell Austin's scheme, whatever the fuck it is, whoever it is terrible, man. They refuse to make in-game adjustments on Jamar Chase. They just let him do whatever he wants. And a little bit of that is he's an all-world talent, yes, but you can do certain things to minimize it,
Sure.
They refused. They just left him one-on-one pretty much the whole time. Even when they went to zone a little bit, they got cooked, but there wasn't much help. Guys were missing tackles left and right. The pass rush was non-existent.
Yep.
You brought in, what's crazy, Kevin, and I'm going to say this, is let's not forget, the reason they brought in Jalen Ramsey and Slay was for the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to match up one-on-one against that team specifically in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Yep.
And it did not work out. They looked atrocious. First drive or two was great on both sides of the ball. They were blitzing nonstop. They were pressuring Joe Flacco, and then all of a sudden it just randomly went away. There was no more pressure. There was not many exotic blitzes.
Mm-hmm.
They were playing 10, 15 yards off of these guys, which was crazy. It's just a disaster, man. It was. Listen, we've gotten blown out a lot in the past. That Bills game we go back to a lot. That might have been one of the worst defensive performances I've seen.
Jerry, it's just, for me, they were completely fucking healthy. You had everybody. You were missing nobody on the defensive side of the ball. You have Joey Porter Jr. back in your secondary. Deshaun Elliott makes the game. He dealt with his personal issues. He plays. You don't have to worry about that. You have Patrick Queen. You have your whole plethora of pass rushers, Highsmith, and we'll get to that. I don't know what the fuck the Steelers think sometimes when Highsmith plays significantly more snaps than Herbig, and Herbig has been your best pass rusher this season. He has been better than TJ Watt. He has been better than Alex Highsmith. He's been your most impactful pass rusher for the last 3 or 4 weeks now. And for him to only play 39% of the snaps is not good enough when you had no other pass rush. Early in the game, I agree with you. I thought the first 2 or 3 series, the defense had a nice game plan. They were blitzing. They were moving guys around. They were rushing him. Flacco was off his mark. He's rushing passes. After about that third series, they just completely stopped rushing, and he was getting rid of the ball in 2.2 seconds. So even if you have the fastest pass rush in football, he was dissecting what the Steelers were doing right at the line of scrimmage. He was finding the quick read, the slants. Every fucking series, it's 1 or 2 slants for 20, 30 yards down the field. Jamar Chase just wide ass open. I mean, and I don't know how they're not making adjustments to that though. And I'm sitting there, I'm watching it, I'm like, there's nobody fucking looking where Jamar Chase is going to be. Jerry had 16 catches all night. All night. And after the game, it's the same things that we hear so many years now. What does Jamar Chase say after the game, Jerry?
They knew what this defense was doing at all times. They knew exactly what it was.
It's the same fucking thing that Flacco said on the Thursday Night Football booth with the panel after the game. They bring him out. He says, the Steelers did what the Steelers always do. Jamar Chase said they did exactly what we were expecting them to do. And if you remember this past summer, there was Julian Edelman who torched us with the Patriots for many years, just terrorized us. He said the same thing. He said, we loved playing the Steelers because they always did the same things. They never made adjustments. We knew exactly what they were going to do, and we just exploited it. And Joe Flacco, having played the Steelers 1,000 fucking times, had no concern about what the Steelers defense was going to do. So you can bring in Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slay, and you can have all of these great pass rushers. But whenever you're not putting the defense where it should be, and you have all these miscommunications again, which is something Patrick Queen comes out and says after the game, that we had a ton of miscommunications yet again this week. And this is years. Jerry, we are always having this conversation. I feel like it's Groundhog's Day between you and I. I'm looking into the same fucking computer, and we're saying the same things. Steelers have miscommunication issues again, yet again. There's always miscommunication issues. I don't know how much more of this I can fucking take as a fan.
Yeah, man, I'm at the point, that was, what's crazy is I won a bunch of money that game, and I walked out of that, out of the Barstool office, and I was a wreck. I was disheveled. I sat in my car for like 20 minutes just saying to myself, how didn't I see this? How in the world did I not see this coming? This is what he does. And when I say he, I'm talking about Mike Tomlin.
Yep.
This is what he does, man. And the fact that I thought it was different this year because of the additions and the veteran leadership, shame on me. Shame on me. It's not different. In fact, it's the exact same. Mm-hmm. This is what he does. When he goes and plays a bad team, he loses, or it's a rock fight. There's no such thing as blowing a bad team out completely, blowout. He doesn't do that. No. I'm just at the point now, man, in this season where it's like, okay, yeah, we're 4-2, great. We got a tough schedule ahead of us.
Oh, yeah.
And if they're gonna play like they played against the Bengals, who have the worst defense in football, and their offense could not get it going for weeks, I don't know what's going to happen by the end of this year.
Jerry, Bengals had the worst rushing attack in football. Chase Brown fucking gutted us up and down the field.
Did they have 100 yards in the first half?
He had 113. He had 130. I want to say 113 some rushing yards. The fucking guy has struggled all season. You want to have a slump buster? Play the Pittsburgh Steelers. You really want to have a slump buster? Play the Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
Because it's so predictable. I'm actually I'm almost upset with how fucking stupid you were thinking that we were going to blow them out.
Yeah, no, I really did, man.
We know better. We know better.
I know. And there was a bunch of people who messaged me. A lot of Steelers fans were like, Jerry, come on, I mean, I said it in my tweet. I said, I basically said I should know better. Every time I do this, I'm walking into a trap. I just felt like there's no way Flacco goes there on 11 days against this pass rush and these exotic blitzes they've been shown to do with that dog shit offensive line with no rushing game, and they're going to fucking go toe-to-toe with us. And they did just that. And they did it better. They answered every fucking time. and we just couldn't get a stop. We couldn't get one stop. It was disgusting.
I just think it's incredibly frustrating for me because I look at it like this. It would be easier for me to swallow if Rodgers sucked. If when we watched Aaron Rodgers play through 6 games, we said, this guy's fucking washed. He definitely doesn't have it, and the Steelers don't have a chance come January. I would say, it's easier. All right, the defense lets us down. They always fucking let us down. Tomlin's the most overrated fucking head coach in football. The guy's defenses are the highest paid and never finish anywhere near the tops of the list. So I would be able to accept that because that's who the fuck we are and it's who we've been. But to see Rodgers go out there, Jerry, and just shred them.
Yeah.
Does he have the 2 bad interceptions? And this is the only thing I'll say is he forces the one bad ball to DK left sideline. It gets picked. The other one is just unfortunate.
DK should grab that. DK should grab that.
Yeah, you're going to have interceptions in the NFL. I can accept it. 4 fucking touchdowns and with 2.5 minutes left, gives the ball back to the defense and basically says, win us the fucking game here. And they can't do it. And if you're going to make $180 million on the defensive side of the ball, and how many times have we made this argument? Highest paid, or now they're the second highest paid. Houston's actually the highest paid defense now. Pittsburgh's too. But if they're in $180 million and all your money's tied up on that side of the ball, and you have all these fucking high-end salaries over there, and it's crunch time, and you're in a division game, your quarterback gives you the ball back with 2.5 minutes, and you don't even get Jerry, at no point was it even concerning that they would get the Bengals off.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It was not like maybe 4th down, like Bengals have to make a play. One guy, they just picked them right down the fucking field.
They were in field goal range in 2 plays.
That to me is why it's fucking maddening, because after all the game, all these things haven't worked in the fucking final drive of the game on the line. Jamar Chase, Jerry, I could have caught in the ball and gotten 30 fucking yards for how they didn't even cover him. They didn't even guard the fucking guy. Wide open, across the middle of the field.
No.
And unfortunately, Rodgers and Freiermuth, who has a great game, fucking Jalen Warren, Jerry, I thought he had his best game of the season. Just they did whatever they wanted on the offensive side. You start quick, 10-0, you jump on them. Everything is going our way. And then the Steelers defense turns back into the pumpkin that it always turns into when the quarterback is not a rookie or fucking Wentz, bums. If the quarterback is even remotely competent, he will pick the Steelers defense apart. And it is for that reason I say I can't do any more of Terrell Austin and Mike Tomlin. It has to fucking change.
Yeah, it has to. I'll read you a quote, Kevin. This is shocking. I read this today from Jeremy Fowler. It says, talking to Cam Hayward and TJ Watt, they were just talking about how unacceptable this performance was. Okay, yes, it was. Mainly from a run defense standpoint, accurate. We know that Joe Flacco was getting his yards, and Jamar Chase can go off when he does get one-on-one coverage. They already are agreeing that this guy's going to go off no matter what. So that's fucking crazy. We know that Joe Flacco was getting his yards and Jamar Chase can go off when he does get one-on-one coverage. They want to clean up their matchups on the back end, but they feel like this is only elevated when you can get it done with the run defense. Let me explain something to you. The last thing that defense should have been worried about in the second half was the run defense. They couldn't get a fucking incompletion. They couldn't get an incompletion in the second half. They got picked apart so fucking bad. What's crazy is as soon as I didn't even get up for that touchdown is when the Steelers scored. I said to myself, it doesn't matter. There's too much time, number one. They can't get one incompletion. Forget about getting a stop. They couldn't get an incompletion. As soon as we scored, great, yeah, but way too much time. What they should have did in hindsight was the very first play, just let them score. Just let them score the very first play because you can't get a stop. You proved it all night. You couldn't fucking stop them.
Or what's crazy? I saw people suggesting this after the game. I was so angry. It's a fucking long drive home last night. I drove home after the game. So yesterday was a long ass day. And so I did a Spaces. I hosted a Spaces for the first time on Twitter for like almost 3 hours just to fucking vent and take people's questions. People were suggesting, they're like, honestly, Freiermuth should have just went down at like the 2 or the 3 yard line instead of scoring so that we could have burned more clock and scored and tried to give them less time back with the ball. Here's the thing. You would never do that.
No.
Like, you would never risk that. You would never do that. And the fact that we even have to fucking suggest that when you have a defense that is as vaunted as the Steelers defense, I'm so fucking tired. They should never announce that defense at a home game again until they actually beat a real fucking football team.
Yeah.
Until they actually shut out or shut down a real fucking quarterback. Because Jerry, for all the optimism we had going into that game and thinking we could get to 5-1 and, you know, all of those things would be great. And it is a short week. You are on the road. It's a hostile environment, but it's a 40-year-old Joe Flacco, Jerry, with a dog shit offensive line. I mean, as bad of an offensive line,
horrible.
Right. If you can't win that game, how the fuck can we sit here 2-3 days from now and record the Packers preview and think that we're going to have a chance in that type of game?
No.
Jordan Love's faster. They have a better offensive line. They have a better offense, in my opinion. Their defense is better. Like it's maddening because with the Pittsburgh Steelers, for how many years was it the defense is good, the offense sucks dick, and now it's that the offense is actually really fucking good.
Yeah. Without a wide receiver too.
Right. Borderline lethal. The Steelers offense yesterday was they did damn near whatever the fuck they wanted, aside from the bad turnovers in the first half. They moved up and down the field effortlessly. I mean, easily. Rodgers is out of the pocket. He's extending the plays. He looked fucking 30 years old, you know, and yet the defense forgets how to play defense. It's never we can get them both to click. No. And for how many years has it been one or the other? And as the head coach of the football team and Mike Tomlin, it is your responsibility to make sure in week 7, we're not listening to miscommunications. We're not, you know, a team that you built bringing in Ramsey and Slay, and you go out there and you still can't fucking stop them. Then what value is that, Mike Tomlin? Then what the fuck value are you other than being a great motivator? And it comes back to the same shit we say every year. Motivating a team does not make them a better X's and O's football team. And X's and O's are where the Steelers lose every fucking season. What's up, guys? Just want to take a quick second to shout out our friends over at TickPick. You guys see me at the games. You see the seats that I have, the experiences that I get to enjoy, and that's all because of TickPick. If you're looking on the secondary market for tickets to a Steelers game and you're not using TickPick, you're honestly probably paying more than you should have to. There are no fees. It's upfront pricing, and you can use code STEELERS20 for $20 off your first order of game tickets. They're the best in the game, in my opinion, and I want you guys to be able to take advantage of how good their product is. So use TickPick moving forward. Let's get back to the episode.
Yep, that's exactly where they lose, man. That's exactly where they lose. You know, at the end of the first half, I was like saying to myself, okay, listen, we're down, but this offense, they can fucking go up and down the field on this team. We know that. They can do that. The defense is going to step up. I had a feeling the defense was going to step up and start to take away, you know, Jamar Chase a little bit. And it just got worse. I don't know how it did. It just got significantly worse so fast in that third quarter, man. You know, and also, you know, let's get to the numbers here. Chuck Clark was a healthy scratch last week. Healthy scratch.
Yeah.
And then this week he plays the whole game. Mm-hmm. Nick Herbig has been on fire. He plays 30 snaps. What are we doing? What are we doing?
That's why I get pissed off, because like they have no rhyme or reason. Things that work, they go away from. And there was even a portion in that game where, you know, early on Jaylen Warren dominates. Through the middle of the game, they damn near didn't use him for a while. Went back to him then at the end, and he got hot, and we got back in the game. But they outsmart themselves sometimes, and it's also. I didn't think, and I'm not making excuses. Trust me, they lost the fucking football game. They deserve to lose the football game. I thought the officiating was dog shit, Jerry. I thought they got bad. Absolutely fucking hosed.
Porter got banged on a few.
It's like, I thought that there was a push off on the, these are all the ones that I just wrote down in my notes. The call against Frazier, the holding penalty on Jaylen, it should have been Jaylen Warren's. We should have went up 14-0. That's not a holding. It's just not
No.
fucking holding. It had nothing to do with the play. He's just on his shoulder there. It's not a holding call. That fucks us. Okay, we score 10 instead of 14. That sucks. The pass interference is on Joey Porter Jr., especially the one in the middle of the field. The ball's thrown behind him. The ball's literally thrown behind the wide receiver. They call pass interference. It's a terrible fucking call. The tush push penalty, that you never see that get called on the Eagles.
Eagles
You never
jump all the time.
all the fucking time. I mean, it is like well known. Is it a penalty? Absolutely. But if you're not going to call it on the Eagles, you can't call it on the other fucking teams. The push off I thought on Ramsey on the first touchdown of Jamar Chase in the end zone, I thought that was very clearly a fucking push off. And then another play, Jalen Ramsey gets hit again where it's in the middle of the field. It's like a 6-yard in route.
He didn't really pull him.
Jerry, he didn't. He just had his arm wrapped around him and swats the ball. It's just like if you're even touching these fucking guys, and I do love and appreciate that after the game, Jalen Ramsey ate this one on the chin. I mean, he took full accountability. He said, we have to fucking play better. It starts with me. I have to play better. And they asked him about the penalties because Joey Porter Jr. blamed the penalties and thought that the officiating was not good. And so they asked Ramsey about that. And Ramsey said, you know that these fucking guys are going to get the calls. So you have to just play anyway. Yeah. I love that. Even if everybody knows it was dog shit officiating, fucking take it on the chin like a man. I do respect that he did that. But Jerry, I mean, I don't know how we can honestly look at this season and think that it's going to be any different when all of the Steelers' tendencies when they lose are always usually the same things. We say they had miscommunications, they had a bad scheme, they got beat, over the middle of the field. Every year, the losses, they always seem to be the same. The Steelers' ugly tendencies always seem to show in their losses, and you never see anything different when it comes to that. Offensively, much better football team. The type of football team I think could actually genuinely make a run through January with that offense. But the defense, I just think it's just never going to be good under Mike Tomlin because I just don't think Mike Tomlin is the type of defensive guru that everyone thinks that he is.
Yeah, and I was reading some stuff on Twitter today. Somebody was saying, all this talk about the Steelers trading for wide receiver and whatnot. Don't be surprised if they go after defense. It's like, how much more do they need on defense? They did everything they can. It's not working out. You know what I mean?
It's not the ingredients in the recipe. It's just a shitty fucking recipe.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You could have better ingredients. It's still shitty fucking food that's going to come out of that oven that Mike Tomlin is the chef over. And it drives me fucking insane because, they do think that you bring in a guy like Darius Slay. Darius Slay has been horrendous for the Steelers.
He's been horrible. He's been so bad.
You need to play Brandon Eccles. Like you're going to have to play Brandon Eccles instead because Darius Slay, I saw a stat today that he's been targeted, I want to say 29 times through all these games. He's 20 of 29, 20 of 20. Bad. That's awful. He's been terrible. He gets cooked regularly and he gets hurt at least once a game.
Every game he gets hurt and he comes back in. It's ridiculous. But it's funny. One of the Eagles fans at Barstool warned me that when we got him, he was like, you're gonna be so frustrated with this guy. He gets hurt every game and he comes back in. He'll take like a drive or two off. He'll be on the sidelines saying that he's hurt, and then he'll come back in, which happens pretty much every game he's in. And he sucks.
He's terrible.
Yeah, he sucks. I'll say it. He fucking sucks.
And that's a 35-year. I saw another stat today that's just like, initially when they signed him, the first thing I said is, oh my God, he's old. Like, stop signing these old cornerbacks. I like him because he wins a Super Bowl. I just didn't hope that we had to see him a ton. Unfortunately, they're playing him a ton, and this is what you're going to get out of it. He's 2 years older, Jerry. This is crazy. He is 2 years older than the next oldest cornerback that plays in the NFL.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's insane. This guy's not the greatest fucking corner ever, so take him off the field. Take him off the field. He's a liability. Get him the fuck off the field. Their game plan yesterday, I'm gonna read you something Richard Sherman said after the game. It was a great point. He said the Steelers' game plan was not great. They were using Ramsey and Porter in bracket coverage with a safety over the top on Jamar. You don't do that with your top corner. You bracket coverage their number one wide receiver. So technically you would have Joey Porter Jr. and the safety bracketing Jamar Chase, and you would then take out their number two receiver in T. Higgins with your number one cornerback, which would be Jalen Ramsey. He said teams do not do that. It's a terrible scheme. And like, he's one of the greatest cornerbacks that's played football, and he's watching us get picked apart, and he's saying that it's a terrible scheme. I don't know that I have heard so many people, and it's crazy how many people you hear in the media, ex-players, players still in the league on the other teams, talking about how the Steelers scheme is not difficult, it's not hard to play against, and how vanilla it really is.
Well, it's got to be Tomlin, because I mean it goes back to Edelman.
That's exactly it.
Edelman never played Terrell Austin.
Right. That's exactly it. It's Mike Tomlin. And we say this every fucking season. And when we get excited, it looks different. It looks different. It doesn't fucking look any different. It looks just the same. It's just different names on the fucking jerseys.
Yeah. Oh, man, just such a frustrating game, man. I mean, they had a chance to really just fucking open this wide open, and fucking really have these teams chasing.
Yeah. Now it's a division. Now it's a fucking division. And the worst part is, I feel like we just gave the Bengals momentum.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're not
people were talking about Burrow possibly not coming back. If they're close and he's 70%, he's coming back.
No doubt about it. They're not dead. Like, unfortunately, and the tin hat fan in me wants to say that maybe the officials, maybe the league wanted the Bengals to just get that edge yesterday, just because they can't have a division that's over by week 6 or week 7. Steelers are 3.5 games up. It would have been fucking out of reach. It's pretty much done. Now it's a wide, the Ravens are still in there. The Bengals are still in there, and the Steelers are about to go through a fucking dogfight. You know what the worst part about being a Steelers fan is that, fortunately, but unfortunately, they could go out and now beat the Packers. As much as this game sucks, it would be so Steelers-like to just go out and beat the fucking Packers. And we claw our way right back into fucking 10-7. That Ravens game last week of the season in Pittsburgh could still decide the fucking division, because that is exactly who the Steelers are. They lose games they shouldn't fucking lose every season. And
every year.
And they're just like that one. They never take control. You finally had it. The football gods gifted you the division this year. If you could win last night, you have a fucking stranglehold at the halfway point. Now here we sit, Jerry, fucking bitching about the same things that we always bitch about. And it's like, when will it end, Jerry? When will it change? It's
when Tomlin leaves, man. Breaking. When Tomlin leaves, I guess that's when it'll end, I feel bad for Rodgers.
Right. That's what I was just gonna say. There were
people commenting. There were people commenting on, like, when the Steelers posted the graphic on Instagram, like, great job, Rodgers, 2 picks. Did you watch the game?
Unbelievable.
He's the only reason you were even in that game, you fucking idiot.
Unbelievable. That's what someone replied to me on Twitter today. They said, wow, he must have been really good with the 2 interceptions. I said, buddy, 1 interception was his fault. The other one was DK's fault. DK just is fucking cannot let the defender take the ball from him like that. I said, and he also led the comeback, gave them the ball back with 2 minutes, and had 4 touchdowns and fucking lit them up. I mean, lit with tight ends. With tight ends. Like, he has 1 wide receiver out there. Roman Wilson, yet again, Jerry, I mean, wide ass open. There are 2 plays I want to highlight. One is the interception that he forces the ball to DK on the left sideline. He has Roman Wilson middle of the field. I mean, wide ass open. Doesn't throw him the ball. Another one is in the third or the fourth quarter. Freiermuth drops a ball maybe 10 yards over the field on the left sideline. He has Roman Wilson uncovered on the right sideline. If he throws it anywhere out there, it's a touchdown. Roman Wilson is just, he's cardio. He's cardio out there. There's no other value in Roman Wilson. They do throw him the ball. It looks like he makes plays, and then it's just they don't ever look at him again.
Yeah, that's the weird part, is like when they're throwing him the ball, he's getting first downs and he's catching everything. He's not dropping anything.
Right.
And then he's out. He just randomly just comes out and sits out for a couple drives, randomly back in. Also, Darnell playing 30-something snaps and not 40.
Yeah.
It's that magic number. It's that 40 number. He didn't hit it. They're 7-0 when he plays 40, and they didn't, I don't think that was the reason, but I'm just saying.
The offense is not why they lost.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. If you, Jerry, this is one of those scenarios where if I said to you when we recorded early in the week, if I said they score 31, do they win or lose?
No, I would say they blew him out.
Jerry, I would put every dollar in my name. I would put every dollar in my name if I knew in advance they were scoring 31 that the Steelers win the game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How? I just don't understand how they, like, they looked like really bad against, I want to say, a lot worse defenses. Like worse, like on paper, just 100 times worse defenses. They've looked so bad, and then they all of a sudden play the Steelers, and they're just world beaters.
What's up, guys? Just want to take a quick break to shout out our friends at Pond Lee Hockey, the new official sponsor of the Steel Here podcast. And they want to let you know that when life hits you hard, you need a team that fights for you just as hard as your favorite players. That's Pond Lee Hockey, Pittsburgh's largest work injury firm. They specialize in winning injury and workers' compensation cases and are ready to go to battle for every dollar you deserve. From start to finish, they're with you every step of the way. And the first step, a free consultation. No strings, just answers. If you've been hurt at work or in an accident, call Pond Lee Hockey today. Now let's get back to the episode. We're frauds, Jerry. The Steelers' defense is fucking frauds. That's the reality of it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much we think it's going to be different. It's not different. It's not going to be different. You know, we can't. And this comes back to this from now on. And I saw your segment you did with Big Cat on Advisors, where you were high on the Steelers. It's basically like you were on our show. And Big Cat's like, take the Bengals. I've seen anytime Jerry does this, take the other team. And that's what it is. We get blinded to it, Jerry, because that's what we are. We're just fucking fans deep at the end of the day. There's no more blinding me to it. If the Steelers cannot do it, and until they do it, Jerry, until they actually genuinely do it against good offenses and good football teams, I have no reason to believe it will ever look any different than it looks like that as long as Mike Tomlin is the overseer.
No, you know what's crazy is after that game, I just said to myself, oh, okay, this is just one and done again. This is playoffs and done, you know? There's no way a defense like that is going to show up in a playoff game and win and help you win a game. They're just not against superior opponents, and whoever's in the playoffs is going to be superior, especially to that fucking Bengals team. They got a lot of work to do, man. They have a lot of work to do. They got to figure it out and figure it out fast. And
They're not gonna figure it out, Jerry. They're not. If they can't figure it out by this point, they're not fucking figuring it out. They're not. They might get a little bit better, sure. They might play a little bit better. But all in all, this is what they are. If the pass rush, and this has been their problem, if that pass rush does not get home, they get fucking picked apart on the back.
Kevin, not even that. If they don't get a turnover.
Yeah. That's two games now, no takeaways. After, we say that they average 6 between sacks and takeaways a game. They only had 2 sacks. It early on, you sack them on the second play of the game. I think, oh my God, dude, we're going to beat the brakes off of them. We looked great. And then we get the ball back. We march down the field. I'm like, this is effortless. We're going to we're going to shove it up their fucking ass, man. We're going to win a Thursday night game. We're going to be 5-1. This is massive. And then they just always go back to who they are. It's crushing, honestly, as a fan.
Very crushing.
And anything else you want to add, Jerry? I don't have a whole lot else.
No. I mean, as it stands today, I don't see how they beat the Packers. So I mean, we got that episode coming out in a couple days. So yeah, no, he's just very upset, very frustrated. They pay these guys a lot of money to not show up, which is really frustrating as well. You got a lot of high paid guys on that defense who just become ghosts sometimes, man. And I don't know, man. We'll see.
One thing I will say, it was nice to see Pat get going. I sent him a message today.
Yeah, that was great.
I sent him a message because I had sent him a message last week, basically like, look, I know it's been a rough go at it, but love the way you carry yourself, keep your head up, etc. He's like, appreciate it. I sent him a message today. I'm like, tough fucking loss, but Pat, I love to see that you finally got it going. And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, if we can figure this thing out, it feels like we could do something special. I think the offense believes, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
If it's not, I don't want to just walk away from that game saying there are no positives, because
offensive line is really coming together as well.
Yes, the O-line I thought played much, much better. They're really starting to come into their own. They opened up some huge holes. Now, granted, they should. Bengals defense is dog shit, and they
Yeah.
didn't have Trey Hendrickson. That's the other
Yeah.
part. They didn't have their
Yeah.
best defender.
Yeah.
So, they did one side of the ball for the Steelers is trending and has been trending, and surprise, it's the one that's ran by Aaron Rodgers. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So he's getting the offense to look at least competent and a real threat. It's the first time in many years I could say, damn, the Steelers are a real threat. I think he already has 14 passing touchdowns through 6 games.
Wow.
And the Steelers in 2023 and 2022, I want to say, had 14 and 13 passing touchdowns for the whole season.
That's
So
crazy.
the offense is finally back to being a real offense. This defense, though, man. Let me ask you this, Jerry. If we go through another season and the defense lets us down yet again in the playoffs, and they don't go on to then fire, Mike Tomlin or Terrell Austin, what do you do? Like, I mean, as fans, how can you look as the owner of the Steelers, how can you look the fans in the face and say next year is going to be different when it continuously gets
well,
let
you know what'll happen. They'll listen if they have if the defense costs them a playoff game with their if a team comes out and puts 21-28 on them in the first half, what they're gonna do is say, okay, this was all Terrell Austin. That's the scapegoat. Let's get rid of him. Bring in another guy. It's just the same cycle because they're not firing Tomlin. Tomlin can lose out the rest of the year. He's not getting fired. They'll blame it on Terrell Austin, and they'll say, okay, buddy, now it's your time to go.
I hate him, Jerry. I do.
Yeah.
I fucking hate him. I do.
Yeah, bad guy.
Mean, he's public enemy number one in my entire world. And he has been for years. And it's just like every day, it's just, I hate him more. I do, man, because they showed a stat yesterday on the screen. The Steelers haven't scored more than 7 points in the first quarter of a game in 56 games. It's the longest stretch for a single head coach in NFL history. It's
you know what the Steelers are? I'll close out with this, dude. They are the best of the best when it comes to being the shittiest team.
Yeah, mid. We're the best of the mid.
Yeah, that's what they are.
And they've been the best.
Exactly what they are.
We're not anywhere near that upper echelon because we just can't we don't play. We just can't get it going on both sides of the ball. You just can't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This has been this way for years. Either the offense carries or the defense carries, but they don't ever fucking complement each other when they actually have to.
Nope.
Well, we appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, all of that bullshit. We appreciate it. All right, Jared, we'll record again here. Probably Monday. We'll get another episode out looking ahead to the Packers game.
Yep. No doubt. We'll see you then, Kev.
Later, buddy.
Later.
We're here. We're still here.
We are still here.